How old are you? We're about the same age of me.
How old are you? I'm 34.
Oh shit! Fuck off! Fuck off! Can we add a 10 to that?
I'm 50.
I mean, fucking hell, you don't look 50, mate. I'm
40. Cheers, mate.
Am I 42?
I'm on 42.
I'm 43. I'm 43 in a couple of weeks, or 44 in a couple of weeks.
Right, let's make a start then, mate. Let's make a start.
Go on then.
So today on a good old natter with, I have with me the most excellent Arron Davis. How you doing, mate?
I'm all right, mate. How about you?
Oh, that's it, straight in there with the Black Country. I love it.
No other way. No other way.
I'm fine, mate. I don't get to use me Black Country very often now because
clean yourself up when talking to the norms.
Yeah, I have to use posh spake when I'm at work.
Well, that could kill off for one podcast.
Yeah, unless a driver turns up and then that's it. Then nobody can understand me or understand me. Now it's good to see you, mate. I see you've got a drink of choice there.
Oh, Air of the Dog, mate. I had a gig last night and I'm hanging.
Oh man, Newcastle Brown.
Yeah,
I like it. Right, let's start with a first question. It's good place to start. What was your first computer or console? Well, what was your introduction to games?
I was too young to remember, if I'm being honest. I mean, because I've always been obsessed with it. Some of my earliest memories and going on holiday to like Real with my mum and dad and staring up at the arcade machines, getting a chair so as I could stand on, and even with no money, just messing about with the controls. But my first console, never had computers. We was too poor in the Black Country. We couldn't afford computers. So I had an Atari 2600 Junior, and that would have been like 1985. So the Atari was already like 8 years out of date by then. I remember it being 50 quid. I had it for Christmas, which seemed like a lot. And I had Centipede. But by that time, our Atari games was like, they was being thrown around like Pokemon cards, like shitty Pokemon cards. So I was always getting games off people. And unfortunately, back in the Atari days, you really needed the instruction book with a lot of them to understand what was going on. And nobody ever kept the instruction book. So some of the games, like things like Star Raider or whatever, was unplayable. But as a little kid, it was just flashing lights on the screen and something you could interact with. So Atari for me.
Yeah. Could you still hire cartridges at that time? I used to hire the Atari cartridges, you say, from like video shops and stuff.
There was that was one of my early experience actually in Brockmore. There was Brockmore. There was a video shop called Vision 2000, and they always had a couple of arcade machines in. So I would go over there and play Shinobi a lot. That's how I'm quite good at Shinobi. Like I could complete it on one. Well, I can't complete on one credit anymore because I'm too old. Yeah. So video shops as well. That was my first experience with games.
Yeah. Shinobi was an awesome arcade game.
I liked Shinobi as well because it wasn't like a pay to win. You could keep continuing with your 10 pences, but as soon as you got to the last stage, it wouldn't let you continue. So you really had to, you couldn't just pay to complete it. You had to get good. So I thought that was, I like that.
Yeah. Where did you move on after the 2600?
My first love was my second console, and it's still my first love, was the Master System. That's probably, that is my favourite console, the Sega Master System.
Okay.
Master System 2 I had with Alex Kidd built in.
I was never a fan, you say, the Master System. I think it's because...
Hang on, where's the off button?
I know, yeah. It's because I'd already gone to the Mega Drive.
Oh, you skipped a generation, did you?
Well, I didn't skip. I had a PC Engine.
Oh, la-dee-da. I'd never heard of a PC Engine until I was much older, and I went back to collecting, like in my late teens, early 20s. That's when I started hearing about stuff like that. Because you didn't have PC Engine over here, did you? You had TurboGrafx.
No, and the only reason why I ended up with one is because I worked in a computer shop in Birmingham called Microbyte when I was 17. And apart from the typical tape games, you know, Specky 64 and Amstrad. We imported consoles, so we had the Japanese Game Boy,
Nice.
the PC Engine, the Super Famicom, the Mega Drive, and the Neo Geo.
Neo Geo. Did you ever know anybody who owned a Neo Geo back in the day?
Yeah, we mate Jace.
He must have
Mate
been.
Jace.
He must have been loaded.
Well, he spent all his wages on consoles and games. The same, because we both worked together in the shop.
I mean, as a kid, did you know anybody who had a Neo Geo? When did the Neo Geo come out? About 91 or something, was it? 92?
Well, it come out when I was 17, so Jason would have been 19.
Fair enough.
So it was smack, you know, bang in the middle of it coming out.
He couldn't have had many games for it unless he robbed banks for a living.
Well, no, he got paid. So he got paid at the end of the month at the shop, and then he'd just buy a game. I mean, they were like £100, weren't they?
Yeah, and I remember being on a school trip and reading like Sega Force or something, and it was talking about the Neo Geo, and I was like, £120 a game. That's got to be a misprint. That's got to be a misprint because our Master System was £100. How can you pay £120 for a single game? But I never knew then that it was leaps and bounds ahead of the Master System.
That's it.
It was an arcade in your house, swore it.
Yeah, and the thing is, if it's your first, you know, one of your first jobs, and you're still living with mum and dad, it didn't matter, did it? If you weren't going out on, you know, drinking or whatever on a weekend, where did all your money go? Went on your games. So,
I suppose, yeah.
But yeah, I remember him buying Magician Lord,
good game,
and Nam, and
Nam 1975, great game.
Yeah, and Cyberlip. I remember playing them. But it was great. We had the console set out on the counter, and yeah, it was a good time, real good time. Yeah. Okay, so after the Master System 2, where did you go from there?
Well, I'll talk you through if I can remember what I went through. I went Master System, then I went Mega Drive. My Mega Drive I ordered from my mate's mum's catalogue, and me and my mate were so excited to get it out the box that we opened the box upside down. It fell out, landed on the floor hard, and there was no problem. Sonic the Hedgehog played perfectly. But then I got Space Harrier 2, and it would only play up to a certain point. Then we got Golden Axe 2, it wouldn't play at all. And the further I got into Sonic, when you got to Labyrinth Zone, it only played in black and white and at twice the speed. So I was like, oh, this Mega Drive's fucked, man. And my mate blagged it. He didn't grass me up. He just said to his mom, oh, something wrong with the Mega Drive. We've got to send it back and get a replacement. And we did. But we broke it. We just fucked it up as soon as we opened the box. Just bang, dropped it on the floor.
Wow.
After that, that's when, because I always worked even as a kid. I had a babysitting job, believe it or not, as a kid. I worked in my dad's scrapyard on the odd Saturday. So I'd always got money I'd always got cash on the hip, and I was always buying and selling games as well. So I went and bought a NES, I bought a SNES, but the first console I brought new was the PS1. I brought that there was this really good shop called Arcadia in Briley Market. Roger, the bloke who owned it, his name, great bloke, knew his stuff, would never bullshit you. If you picked a game off his shelf and said, is this any good? He'd go, no, it's shit. He wouldn't try and get you to buy it. Like, he'd go, no, it's crap. So he put it back. I brought it off him. So my first new console was the PS1. And after that, pretty much, I've been PlayStation. I mean, I've got an Xbox 360, got an Xbox One, but my modern console that I play is the PS5.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah. Ended up on the PS5. So you're not a PC gamer then?
Mate, I've had PCs, a couple of PCs in the past, but they're too expensive if you're skint. They need constant tinkering with. I mean, you saw me trying to get this webcam working. I mean, what a fuck up that was. If I hadn't had my missus behind me, I wouldn't. This podcast, this wouldn't be happening now because I'm a proper Luddite. When it comes to tech, I haven't got a clue. I haven't got the time, the money, or the patience to mess about with PCs. I want to plug a console in, I want to put a game on, and I want to play it, and I want to forget about it. I don't want to stress. I don't want to think. I just want to play the game. So PCs I've never been interested in, but which is a shame because there's always been a select few games that I've missed over the
Yes.
years. So I've got a Steam Deck now, so I've managed to pick up a few bits that I could never play before. Like I love Half-Life, but you can never really play the expansions. So I've played them recently. I've downloaded like System Shock. Well, they've done a remake of that, so I'm going to get that as well. But there's always been a few PC games I've regretted missing, but nothing that's ever made me think I'm going to fork out £1,000 to play these couple of games. So now, never been a PC gamer.
That's interesting though, because I think something's changed now, especially with the price of the PS5 Pro, which is ridiculous.
Absolutely outrageous. And to get it with disk drives, like 800 quid.
Yeah. No. And the anniversary edition, which when I looked at it, I was like, wow, that looks nice. We don't get a drive with it.
No, forget that. Well, that's the thing. This is the future we've all got to prepare for. They've got you. They will have you by the balls eventually, because one of the good things about console gaming is it's very rare I buy a game new, unless I think the last game I pre-ordered was Duke Nukem Forever. So that's how long we're going back.
Wow. But okay.
If you
don't blame me though.
X, or you want to go to Vintage Gamer or whatever, you can pick up, I don't know, Call of Duty for a £5. But you look on the PlayStation or Xbox store, an out-to-date Call of Duty is still like, I don't know, 40 quid or whatever. Well, you wait till you've got no disk drive and you've got no option. Them prices are never going to come down. They're going to have you by the balls. The old, most out-to-date FIFAs are still going to be full price. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's probably when I'll stop buying new consoles, because at the moment it's sort of a transition period. You can buy a disk drive separate, but there will be the next generation, it'll be just no disk drive, and that's when I'm done. I think
you'll just get a case. That's the way it's going. Yeah, you just got to you got to build it yourself. Yeah. I mean, to be honest, if the amount of money it'll cost to get a PS5 Pro, you can build a decent PC now with that amount of money.
Yeah, and I think PlayStation have really shot themselves in the foot with this one.
Oh, 100%. And if you've got a Steam Deck, in a way, you have got yourself a PC now, because you can attach that to a monitor and mouse and keyboard if you wanted to.
Yeah.
So that's.
I recommend the Steam Deck to anybody. I mean, I'm a bit expensive, like, but I got a good deal on mine. But the Steam Deck's a really good piece of kit. I really like it.
It really. I got my son one for Christmas last year, I think it was. Yeah, and he absolutely loves it because he can take his entire PC library with him wherever he goes.
It's a good emulation machine as well.
It is, and Steam, they have amazing sales.
Yeah, God, yeah.
You know what I mean? Your brand new games they'll come down to like 20 quid eventually, especially after 12 months.
And some of it's like 90% off. The trouble is, though, it's a false economy sometimes. So I'll go through the marketplace. I'll be like, oh, that's only £1. That's only £5. And I'll fill my cart, and then I'll look at my cart, and it's like 60 quid. I'm like, Jesus Christ! So I have to like delete about 10 of the games from my cart before I can afford to. That's how they get it.
All the amount of games I've collected over the year, just through them sales. And I look at my Steam library, and everything's greyed out, and I'm like, "Oh Christ, there's about 100 games there. I've still yet to play."
Yeah, same.
I need to retire.
5. I've got an external hard drive. It's nearly full already, and 80% of it I played.
Yeah.
But the way I look at it, it's all games that I'm going to play. So if I get it while it's on sale, then I've got it there waiting for me, and I've got it cheap.
Yeah. But I can't. I do like the look of the PS4. I had an Xbox X for 12 months, and I literally bought that for Starfield before it came out.
Is there any good? I've heard it was a bit ropey when it come out.
Well, I played it for 2 weeks and then sold the Xbox.
Oh, right.
So there's your answer. Okay. I ended up playing what's it called? Arcade Paradise. I ended up playing that more than anything.
I love that game. I've done that.
It's brilliant.
I've done that to death. It's so You just go around picking up the rubbish again, the bubble gum underneath the tables. It's ridiculous.
So why am I playing? But the thing is, the arcades that you unlock, and when they're brilliant, they're real good games.
Yeah. I absolutely love that game. That's an English developed game, and I'm sure the people who developed that have been to Revival at some point or another. But
Have they? Oh, right, okay.
I might have that wrong, but
Yeah.
there's been that many guests and attendees at Revival over the years. It's easy to forget the odd one, and and Craigle now, obviously, because he's got a memory like a steel trap. But I'm a bit beer-addled.
But when it comes to physical titles now, I tend to get them on Switch, especially if it's an indie title, because I've got the card, I've got a box, I've got a manual probably, and it's not like when you put the PlayStation or Xbox physical discs in, where it just goes, "Oh, you've got the game, I'll download it for you." You've actually got the game on the card, So I know I can still play my Switch offline if I want to. So that's where they've got you. So you tempted in the Pro or not?
I don't play the Switch much, sadly. I should do, but I don't know. It's just I've never been a big Nintendo fan. I like Nintendo, you know. I've got the NES Mini set up, the SNES Mini set up. I've got the originals of them, but I don't know. The N64, there's a couple of games on it I love, but it's literally a couple. And after that, I was never into Nintendo really.
Yeah, I don't know if you find the same, but I struggle to go back to the N64 now. I really do.
It's
the games look apart from your typical Mario 64, Donkey Kong, even GoldenEye is a bit ropey now. You've got to be honest. Doom's good. Doom 64 is good.
I can still play GoldenEye. Have you got it on the Xbox? The tarted up version on the Xbox. It plays really well with two.
No, I haven't. No.
Yeah, me and Taylor, we've pretty much gone through it, haven't we? Yeah. He plays really well with two sticks. But yeah, the thing is with N64, it looks like you're wading through mud whilst having cataracts. And
that's a perfect description.
Really.
You might as well just plug RF in just to finish it off, haven't you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's mad. So do you collect games or consoles at all? It means you've had all those. Have you got a collection?
I've still got quite a big collection, but it's downsized loads. I mean, luckily I started collecting. I've never done it for financial reasons because I aim to speculating and accumulating. I think the hobby ideally should be for people who love it and want to play the games. I ain't a shelf collector, but luckily I started collecting when I started earning a bit. I was working in the building trade for a bit, so I was earning a decent bit of money, and I thought, I'm going to start buying I never had a Saturn, and my mate Les, he goes, there's a Saturn in game, not CEX, Game Station. He said, it's 15 quid. Do you want me to pick it up? This is how long I'm going back. You get a Saturn for 15 quid. I was like, yeah, man. So I got Panzer Dragoon Saga, a mint complete copy for 56 quid.
Well, that's worth some dollar in it, though.
Well, I sold mine. I started building up my collection probably about 20 years ago. And when I always said, I love my games, I want to have as big a collection as possible, but I ain't married to them. If ever I need the money, they're gone. And during COVID, my three sort of lines of income, because I'm in a band, I do TV work, and I do like conventions and stuff, that all stopped. So I've got no money. And I started selling my collection during COVID, and I sold Panzer Dragoon Saga for 650 quid. You know what I mean? It gutted me, but it felt good. Once I started selling and started making space, it actually felt good. And during COVID, I sold shitloads. So my collection's loads smaller than it is. But I've gone down the Everdrive route. So I've still got all my consoles, but 90% of them Everdrive, 90% of them like SD card solutions. The physical games, I got rid of pretty much everything except the new stuff, which hasn't got any value. I shall hold on to that till it has got value. And my Master System, I've kept my Master System collection because I love the Master System. But yeah, I've still got a big collection, but I've sold so much during COVID. It's cut down by about a third, I reckon.
Yeah. No, I mean at least you've gained something from it, I suppose.
Yeah.
I mean I've got a collection, but I'm not an avid collector. I'll just, if I see something and I think, oh yeah, I'll get that, and I don't keep things in. I'll keep the box and I'll try and keep the cellophane on if I can, but a game's to be played. I'm not one of those who just, right, that's it now. I've got that stays on the shelf, gathering dust.
Yeah, same. I mean, like I say, I love the mass system, but I'm doubtful, unless I win the lottery, I'm not gonna go for a full Master System collection, because why do I want to spend 500 quid on Alf for the Mass System, which is only expensive because it's rare? It's one of the worst games on the system. Why do I mean, I've bought cars for less than 500 quid. There's no way I'm spending 500 quid on a shit game I'm never going to play just to say I've got a full collection. It's fucking mental in my view.
Yeah, my first ever car was 500 quid.
My first was 50. It was a Rover Metro, 50 quid. Cost me £100 to get through the MOT. Lasted me 12 months. Brilliant.
Brilliant. That's class. Have you got any pieces that you would never get rid of, you think?
Oh, pieces I would never get rid of. Again, if it was a rainy day and I had to get rid of it, yes, but I would get rid of it. But the last thing I would get rid of is my Master System collection. I've got a nice modded Master System 1 60Hz Switch, and I've had it custom painted. It's got like a Golden Axe Warrior paint job on top of it. So my Master System and Master System collection would be the last things to go. But now, if you know, my daughter needed a car or my missus needed an operation, it'd be gone. You know what I mean?
That's it, isn't it? You've got to be sensible about it, haven't you?
Yeah.
And I suppose as long as are you bothered about who it goes to? Would you prefer it to go to somebody who's going to?
I am, to be honest. Yeah. I don't like, because I've worked in like video game shops. I've worked at Vintage Gamer in Alzoin. Great shop, highly recommended.
Colligate.
And yeah, Colligate. Because nobody's heard of fucking Colligate, have they?
Mate, don't tell anybody, but I'm a gator.
Oh God, I don't even listen to what I like. Well, I've seen the mood change. I've seen it turn from just 100% collectors and gamers to the odd speculator coming in, wanting only sealed games, wanting only graded games. And I'd hate for my collection to go to somebody like that. I've even when I've sold stuff on eBay or on Facebook, if I've got talking to them and they're like, oh yeah, I love this game, I've always wanted to play this, I've done it a bit cheaper, you know what I mean, or took the postage off, or even gone to meet them to give it them. Like, so yeah, ideally I would like it to go to somebody who's going to play it. If I knew for definite they were a shelf collector, or even worse, they were in it for the speculation, money making, I'd tend not to sell, really. I feel like I'm taking art away. It's almost like putting art in a vault. You want it in a museum to be enjoyed. You don't want it in somebody's private vault to be hidden away from the world. That's the way I look at it.
I've given away stuff because of that reason.
You got system games you don't want?
I never had a Master System.
Oh, mate.
Yeah, never had one. As I say, PC Engine all the way for me.
I've got more Turbo Duo modded. It's really good.
Yeah, and I've got a Mega Drive collection. It's not massive. I've probably got about 20, 30 games, but they're all Japanese ones.
They got the best box art, the best instruction books.
You know it. It's bare knuckle. It's bare knuckle. It's not Streets of Rage. It's bare knuckle.
And you get the best stuff as well, because they ain't got the same sort of politically correct sensibilities that we have in the West. So you've still got Ash in it, for instance, you know, that really, like, what we would consider homophobic character. But he was a great character. If you ever played the remake, the Bomber Games remake, he was one of the best characters.
That's right. Well, look at when we ended up with the PAL version of Resident Evil on the PlayStation. They
Oh,
cut off the good bits out.
the black and white cutscene and no blood, and yeah,
Yeah,
what was the point? What's the point in having a horror game with a BBFC rating on and not putting all the stuff in? It don't make any sense.
I'm glad that's sort of laxed a bit now, hasn't it? It's other things now, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
we won't go there. We won't go there.
Well, I already sort of went there, but
Well, okay then, mate. That's brilliant. So Revival. How did you get involved in the in that show, in that event with
well,
Craig?
it's because I had a Black Country accent, really.
Oh, well, that's it then. Fair play.
I used to the first convention I ever
You're
attended
in.
was Replay at Blackpool,
Okay.
and I went with my missus and my daughter, and in cosplay, and so we were the only ones there in cosplay. I mean, cosplay is a big thing now. I didn't even call it cosplay. I didn't know what cosplay was. I was like, "Do you want to go in fancy dress?" And we went to Street Fighter characters, and
Okay.
I went as Akuma, Mrs. went as Chun Li, and the baby went as Ryu. Ryu, and we got a bit of attention from the organisers, and they asked if we wanted to come back next year. So I ended up working with them for a bit. But Craig was he had a stall there because Craig makes arcade machines, tourniquets,
Yeah.
and he had one of his point blank machines set up, and I was playing it, talking to the missus and the baby, and he was like, "Yeah, I've got a Black Country accent, eh?" And I was like, "Oh, so have you?" And we got friends like that. And when Craig started Revival, I was still technically working with Replay, but I attended Revival and got friends with Craig. And Craig, obviously, he was always looking for help. So I helped Craig. And, it seemed a bit weird working for two separate, maybe conflicting sometimes conventions. And because Craig was local, Revival was local, and Craig, ended up becoming like my best mate, I jumped ship and worked for Revival and been there since. I attended the first one, but I think I worked it from the second one, and I've been there ever since.
I'm trying to think when the first one was. Was it like 2012 or something?
Oh, don't ask me dates, mate. Revival's been running about 10 years.
Yeah, hasn't it?
Years, so it's got to be about 2012, yeah.
2012, yeah. I'm trying to think the first one I did.
I know
Might have
Craig's watching this now, screaming at the screen, "It was 2011, you twat!" But
I think it was 2024. It was whatever year. John Romero was there for the first time.
The first time you went?
Yeah, I think it was 2014.
Yeah,
pretty sure it was.
That sounds about right, because that was a couple of years in. Yeah, because that was when I was.
That was at the race course.
We did a family cosplay as well. I was the chain gun bloke. My missus was Doom girl, and Taylor was dressed as an imp. You wouldn't have recognised it because it was completely covered.
Okay.
In fact, get that picture down. Grab that picture, Taylor. I'll show you the picture. I got it on the wall. Yeah, it was in the Express and Star. This picture was from that, but that was a good year. Yeah.
Cosplay before cosplay.
Well, I knew what cosplay was then. We didn't call it fancy dress anymore. But yeah, I'm just getting the picture down. Yeah, let's see if I can get it in there. Can you? There's John,
wow.
and there's me, and there's Jenny, and that's Taylor dressed as an imp.
Because of the way the light was then, I thought that was Bungle on the right.
Oh no, that was George.
Oh, yeah. Oh, brilliant. Righto. So, you've started a Black Country radio show about retro.
Yeah. Well,
Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, it's gaming in general, because my partner, who's behind me hiding, she's my co-host along with Craig. So we do the modern stuff because Danny does the news items, so that'll be modern related, but modern retro as well. I mean, on the last show, one of our news items was GTA 3 coming to the Dreamcast. So it was news, but it was retro news. So it's gaming generally. It's called RGB, Retro Gaming Bunker. RGB, obvious, red, green, blue. Thought it was a nice little tie-in. But yeah, we've only been doing it about 3 months at the most.
Something like that.
About 3 months, and we've probably got about 3 listeners, but we're hoping to
Well, I'm
grow.
one of them, as you know.
I'm the other one, and Danny's the other one.
Oh, that's it. That's fair enough. That's all you need.
Yeah, it's on Black Country Radio Extra.
Yep.
Gets we pre-record it. It gets broadcast at 11 p.m. on a Saturday. It gets repeated the next Saturday. It gets basically our shows every Saturday at 11 p.m. If we decide to do a new one a bit early, then that one gets put in. If we leave it a couple of weeks, then obviously the previous one gets repeated.
Ah, okay. That threw me, that did.
You heard the same one twice, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the reason we got into it was I used to have a podcast years ago with the drummer from Metallica tribute band, who no longer exists now, sadly. But the drummer, Mike, we got friends through the tribute scene and the gaming scene sort of simultaneously. And we did a podcast called Smell the 90s. Well, he up sticks and moved down south. The podcast folded, and I always thought I'd like to do it again, but there was never really an opportunity. But the bloke Steve Taylor, the bloke who does the Monday night rock show.
That's going to stick.
It's a good show. It's a good show. That wasn't Freudian. It's not shite. But Steve Taylor does the Monday night rock show on Black Country Radio. He saw me on stage with White Tiger, a local rock band, and I was doing an AC/DC track with them because I'm in an AC/DC tribute band. And he was like, "Oh, he was good. Can you get him to come on the show to White Tiger?" And I was like, "Yeah, he's his number." And he got in touch. So I went on the rock show, did a few, shows with him, and I mentioned to him about doing a gaming thing, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'll sort of have a few words." And nothing really happened because I didn't pursue it. But then, serendipitously, if that's the right word, the Steve Edwards, who does he runs the Only Ways Dudley Facebook page. He does a lot of stuff locally for the Black Country to spread awareness of the Black Country. He's recently been elected as Labour councillor, local Labour councillor. And when he come around canvassing, obviously, chatting to him, so I used to go to school with him. And he was like, "Why do you get a show on Black Country Radio?" I was like, "I've got to do it now, because there's a few people saying, yeah, you could do it. So I got back in touch with Steve Taylor, who does the Monday Shite Rock Show, and he got me. Honestly, I couldn't have done it without Steve Taylor. I'm a proper technophobe, a proper Luddite, and it's quite complex doing a radio show. Producing a radio show is pretty involved. But he free of charge, off his own bat, took time out of his own schedule, and he just got me up to speed with how to do a radio show. I mean, we're still learning; it's still a bit ropey in places.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
He got me into it. He got me in the studio. He got me in touch with the people who run Black Country Radio, and we started to put together the radio show that's been going now. I don't know, about 4 shows in, are we, Bob? Something like
that.
Yeah. So there you go. You're up to speed.
Yeah. No, I'm enjoying the show, mate. I really am. I like the question round you have.
You like the quiz, do you?
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of the modern questions I struggle with, because I work with my brother, so he gets to listen to it as well. So there's another listen for you.
That's 4 listeners.
Got 4 whole listeners, mate. Yeah.
Next year, double figures, mate. Double figures.
Yeah. Have you thought about putting it on YouTube or Twitch or anything like that?
Well, we're looking at it at the moment because it'd be hard to put it on YouTube, sort of recording it all live, because a 1-hour show takes 3 hours to put together, because there's a lot of fiddling, a lot of editing, a lot of stop-start while we talk about the next part of the show. So to just record it and put it on YouTube wouldn't really be it wouldn't be easy, and I don't know if it'd be entertaining. But I have had a word with some of the people from Black Country. I've had a word with Steve Taylor, again, who does the Monday Shite Rock Show. And he says there is a way of downloading them, but he doesn't know how to do it. So he's put me in touch with somebody else. So hopefully, because the thing is, when you upload a radio show, as soon as the new one goes up, the old one vanishes. Because you can get them from Black Country Radio app on demand, but only until the next show goes up live. So apparently there is a way of downloading old shows, and we're looking at downloading a show and putting it on YouTube and getting a YouTube channel started. But that's not yet. That might be like maybe after Christmas, but as soon as possible. So we do plan on putting them on YouTube.
Yeah, I think that would be really good. I mean, I like the fact that you're using an old medium, because let's face it, radio is dying.
God, yeah.
But at least it's not coming out of a wireless. That'll confuse some people. Shut about wireless. It's still digital, isn't it? It's still coming off the
you can get
through the website.
Yeah.
But do you film yourselves as well? Have you got cameras set up?
No, we haven't got cameras set up. But again, it's something we're toying with the idea of doing. But again, then you've got to get somebody who's technically savvy, who's going to edit it all and put it all together. My missus could do it, no problem. She's like shit up with stuff like that. But she's currently studying for a medical degree, so there's no way I'm putting anything else on her. Do you know what I
mean? No, that's fair enough. Yeah, that's fair enough. It would be good to see on YouTube, I think, and behind the scenes and things like that.
TikToks.
Oh, she said she plans on doing TikToks. I don't know what TikTok is.
Yeah. I mean, I was just thinking you could even just set up you could literally just set up a tripod in the room when you're doing it live, and just put it on Twitch. I mean, you'd have to mic it up somehow, but
that's the thing. It's all these technical things you're coming up with now is things that I'm thinking I wouldn't know how to do that. I wouldn't know. Obviously, the radio station's all
it's all set up, isn't it? Yeah.
How we'd link that into something live on Twitch.
I could do it, but again, it's just be a lot of stop-start and.
Can you hear her?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Because all you need is the audio feed, so everything that's going into that mixing desk just comes out and goes straight into whatever he's kicking out Twitch.
Well, if there's anybody much cleverer than me listening, and you want to come in and do it, I'll buy you a sausage roll.
Sausage. A Greg's one? Is it a Greg's sausage roll?
Fuck off! I know it.
It's an Asda's bloody. What is it? A price right range or whatever?
That'll do. Yeah. That'll do. They don't do no frills anymore, do they? Remember no frills? Or then was the day.
Oh, no frills. Yeah. No frills. Blind.
Sorry, I'm just ducking away to get another beer. You carry on.
No, that's okay, mate. That's okay. Okay. Retro Realm.
Yes.
Are you going to be working there? What do you know about Retro Realm? Because I'm still waiting for it to open myself.
Well, I'm me, mate. Retro Realm is an arcade bar restaurant that's going to be opening in Walsall at some point.
Yeah.
I was going to have my birthday party there, but my birthday's in 3 weeks, so I don't think that's going to fucking happen. But it's owned and run by a bloke called Craig, not Revival Craig, a different Craig. There's also a bloke who works there called Craig as well. There's too many fucking Craigs. It doesn't
Jesus.
But and it's a lot of Revival Craig's machines are going to be there. So there's going to be some really good quality retro arcades there. There's modern stuff as well. There's going to be, they're going to have tournaments, fighting tournaments, FIFA tournaments. There's a massive 2-player Afterburner Climax there that I cannot wait to have a proper go on. Then very, very the last time I went in there, because I pop in there and again to see how them doing. Last time I went in there was probably about a month ago, and they're very close. They're very, very close. They've had a lot of problems with things like fire eggs, because there wasn't a fire escape, so they've had to build a fire escape that goes into like the flats next door. The flats, it joins with the fire exit. The flats. They've had so much shit that they didn't expect that it set everything back. But I'm guessing it's got to be opening this year. I would have thought, but don't quote me on it. But yeah, Retro Realm arcade bar restaurant in Walsall, and it looks like it's going to be epic. And will I be working there? I've been offered a job. I don't know whether I will work there, because who knows what's going to happen between now and it opening. But we'll see.
Yeah. because I'm supposed to be having Craig on this, and the same reason. It's like, right, we've planned a night.
Which Craig?
Oh, sorry. Is it Marlowe? Is it Marlowe? Marlowe,
Craig.
not Turner. Marlowe. Yeah, that Craig.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm supposed to be having him on the podcast at some point, but I know he's putting the hours in. So
He basically lives there, mate. Every time you go there, he's there. I want to get him on the radio show as well, but I want to get him on the radio show.
Oh God, yeah.
We've got an opening date that I can,
Yes.
broadcast on the radio. Retro Realm opens on such and such a date, but as we haven't got one yet, I haven't had him on the show yet.
Yeah, yeah. He rang me up while I was at work on a video call, and he literally showed me round every nook and cranny of Retro Realm. I mean, it looks so good.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, the graffiti artist was still there, spraying away.
That's another fucking Craig as well.
Is that the other Craig?
Yeah, he's the one who painted my Master System.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, he brought all the consoles in that he painted up, and I was
Okay.
like, you've got to do something for me. So if anybody wants any custom paint jobs doing on their arcade machine, on their consoles, he'll do them for you, and he's really good.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the stuff he was showing me was really good, really impressive. I'm impressed with the food area as well. It just looks so inviting. Even if you're not into games, you just go in there anyway and just have something to eat.
That's going to be one of the good things about it, because it's on the wharf, so it's on a little complex with other eateries and bars and places. They've sort of split it into two sections, whereas like Arcade Club, which I love, but Arcade Club, if you want to go there, you pay to get in, which is fine, But with Retro Realm, what it's going to be is you can just stroll in off the street if you want, just go in the bar section where there's going to be games to play as well. But you can just stroll in, have a soft drink, have a meal, have a pint, whatever, and leave if you want. But if you want to pay, you can go into the main bulk of the arcade. So it's going to be good for, I'm guessing, passing trade and passing footfall, rather than you have to dedicate a day to go and pay your entry fee. So I think that's quite a good business model. I think that'll work.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, I'm the same. I love Arcade Club in Black. We're talking about the Blackpool one, aren't we?
I love all the Berry one. The Berry one's the one I've been to most.
Not the Blackpool one. Yeah, the Berry one. That was what I meant to say.
I love all three. I've only been to the Leeds one once.
Yeah.
I've been to the Blackpool one twice, but the Berry one, I've lost count of how many times. I had my 40th birthday there. My daughter, who's got the same birthday as me, it was her 18th on the same day. So we had a big birthday bash there. I adore the place. So it'd be nice to have Retro Realm open, which is literally less than 10 miles from my house, rather than 110 miles up the motorway.
Yeah, yeah, and it's good that it's right by a Premier Inn as well, isn't it? So
yep, right by a Premier Inn.
It's the canal. You can come by boat, so
Well, you can honestly, if you've got a barge. Well, not a barge. Call them. You take a barge. Barge is for hauling goods. What is not a
just a narrowboat, isn't it? Just
if you've got a narrowboat, you can literally rock up outside the arcade in your narrowboat. Oh, that'd be living the dream, wouldn't it? That. Oh, they need to get an arcade narrowboat. They need to get an arcade narrowboat. Why don't we ever say that to Craig? He needs to get an arcade narrowboat.
Oh, Christ, that'd be the next stage, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll turn up on my bodyboard with a stick. Yeah, it looks good. I mean, to be fair, I've probably been to Walsall twice in my entire. If you cut out Revival, I've been to Walsall twice, I reckon, for my entire life. Because the other end of the brook for me. You know what I mean?
Walsall. What do you want to go to Walsall for?
That's what I mean. Well, why do I need to go? Yeah. But with this Retro Realm opening up, I mean, I'd love because my son's 16 next year, so I want him to have his birthday party there.
Well, it might be open by then.
Hopefully. Jeez. Oh, brilliant. Okay, you mentioned that you was in a band, mate. What's that all about then? Being in a band. What band you in?
I'm in a AC/DC tribute band called Whole Lot of DC. The band's been going for 20 years. I've been in them for 17 years. I cannot believe. Every time I say that, I'm like, fuck, I can still remember my first audition. Like, you know what I mean? It seems like just yesterday. But yeah, I'm Brian. I played the part of Brian Johnson, the singer. Well, I say singer, you know, screaming key sometimes if I'm lucky.
Oh well, okay.
Yeah, been doing that for 17 years, and it's one of the best things I've ever done. And long may it continue.
Are you a tribute act that sticks to the style of the band, or you just turn up and play their songs?
The style. I've got a flat cap with a wig sewn in.
Wow. Okay.
Two of our other bandmates wear wigs. The other
Yeah.
one, lucky enough, he's in his 50s. He's still got the hair, so he doesn't need a wig. Our lead guitarist dresses up as a schoolboy and he does the striptease halfway through. We've got all the proper instruments that the actual band, you know, the Gretsch and the SG, and I'm not very musical when it comes to the instruments, but got all the proper instruments, you know, it's all legit. We pretend to emulate them as much as possible. Yeah, it's not a covers band, it is a full-on tribute band.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Have you got any gigs lined up to end the year out, or?
We're having a long break. My birthday is in November, and I like to make sure I've got plenty time in November to enjoy myself. Then Christmas can be hit and miss in regards to gigs, but we're having a long break and we're back in January. Our gigs are usually booked up about 6 or 12 months in advance, so we've got plenty booked in for next year. But I literally did my last gig of the year last night. That's why I'm hanging and got a bit of a hair of the dog.
Okay. Do you play the what's it called? Is it WV1 Festival? WV?
We've headlined there a couple of times.
Have you really?
Have you been there, WV1?
My wife's been a couple of times. She goes with a mate. I don't bother going.
Have you seen an AC/DC tribute there?
I'll have to ask her. Yeah, I'll ask her. I'll get an opinion off her.
Yeah, oh god, no. All right, just don't broadcast it. On a serious note, I don't like to blow my own trumpet because you sound like a wanker, but we are one of the top ones in the country, top tribute bands, full stop, AC/DC. And we've headlined, like, there's a festival called Glaston Budget, as you can imagine what kind of festival that is, Glaston Budget.
Okay, yeah.
Like a scale down Glastonbury.
Where's that, Bilston?
I wish it was that close. It's actually quite close in Leicester, but it's the biggest tribute band festival in Europe, and we've headlined there about 3 or 4 times. And you get,
right. Okay.
I mean, at its peak, you had about 20,000 people there. So I've had some big crowds, and it can be a bit scary, mate.
Yeah, I can imagine. Wow. Yeah. I only found out today.
Like a wanker now.
No, absolutely not, mate. Absolutely not. You got Spinal Tap t-shirts on anyway, so.
I have, yeah, bitch school.
That's brilliant. Okay, mate. Is there any like future? You got any like future projects or anything you'd like to work on or working on at the moment?
Future projects, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose there's. I mean, obviously we've talked about the radio show, which obviously I'd like to get as big as possible. If we can get like 10 listeners, that'd be amazing.
10,
so
okay.
That's the goal. But future, something I'm not working on at the moment. The only thing I can think of is because I used to write articles for Fusion magazine.
Oh, right, okay.
I quite, I'm all right at writing articles. They seem to have gone down. I've done a few cover articles for the magazine. I did the V cover article. I did the Raid over Moscow cover article. Been in the annual before, but I don't write articles for him anymore. But I'd still like to write articles. So because obviously Craig released his fucking amazing book, Game Not Over, that Kickstarter he did, which is fucking brilliant. Me and Craig have talked about writing our own arcade book, because obviously Craig's big. I mean, Craig knows fucking everything about everything. If you want to know something about gaming, ask Craig. This is Craig Turner Revival, by the way, not one of the other multiple Craigs. Me and Craig have talked about writing our own dedicated arcade book, but Craig's got his fingers in a million pies. So when that'll happen, I don't know. But I think me and Craig are going to be writing a book at some point. I mean, it will be next year now, but I imagine it will happen next year.
Purely around arcade machines.
I think so, yeah. Purely around arcade machines.
That'd be nice to see. That'd be nice to see because there's so many games that. Well, I lived in arcades, and that's why Bury. When I go to Bury, I'm like, if I was a lottery winner, I'd be offering somebody some money.
Yeah.
I'd shut it down though. Just be mine.
Yeah. I know, imagine that. That's even the dream, mate. That. But I'm the same. I grew up. I never had any arcades local as such, but because my mum and dad were always in pubs, they weren't landlords; they were functioning alcoholics. So because I was always in pubs with my mum and dad, the first thing I would do going to a new pub would be, have they got an arcade machine, and find the arcade machine. And there was the video shop over in Brockmar. And every time we went on holiday, that was the first thing. That was all I was interested in: the arcades, the machines. So I'm the same, mate. So me, Craig, with his vast knowledge, could quite easily write it on his own. But I think I could help. Well, because of my experience with arcades as well, and just a pure passion for them, I think it'll probably be like 75% Craig, 25% me. But I'm looking forward to it. It'll definitely happen. This arcade book's definitely going to happen, 100%. Me and Craig spoke about it that much. It's going to happen because when Craig says he'll do something, he does it.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, that'll be good to have. I mean, you mentioned Rill earlier on. I mean, that was a place that I used to go to with my mom and dad, and we used to go to the fun ship and.
Epic. Have you been lately?
No.
Oh, it's depressing, man. It's fucking. But I mean, not specifically having a go at Rill, but all them seaside towns that used to have.
Oh, Weston's the same. That's just gone downhill. Yeah.
Arcade. It's just 2p pushers and grabber machines now. But then again, that's why we got things like Arcade Club Bury and the Retro Realm in Walsall to fill that gap that people still want. And when you go to, it's obvious people still want it because depending on the day you go, arcade club's absolutely rammed, and hopefully the Retro Realm will be the same.
I do hope so because we need something for the Black Country like that.
But Rill was good, war it back in the day. Oh, fucking 10p. I mean, I'd get a quid a day off my mum and dad when I was really little. Get a quid a day, and the 10p machine. I mean, if you got good at a game, a quid would last you all day, and I'd still have change left over for the next day.
Oh, I've got so many good memories of Rill and staying in probably the worst caravan known to man. We stopped in a place called Talaka.
Oh, I never stopped there.
And it was my grand's friend's caravan. And mate, it was the days of when statics they had no plumbing.
Yeah.
So you had like a pump to pump the water. There was no toilet, so you had a bucket. It was proper. It was proper.
Only 50 and not 150.
Mate, it was proper caravanning. It really was. It was terrible. But,
ironically, we stopped at a place called the Sea View, and it was about 3 miles away from the sea. So I don't know why. I don't know what that name.
Well, Talaka, you could walk to Prestatyn, and that was where we used to get the. I think we used to get the bus. I think we used to get the bus from Prestatyn straight to Rill.
Yeah, we did. We used to get the bus from Rill to Prestatyn. We used to have a place called the Robin Hood as well. That was quite a big one. That was quite good. The Robin Hood.
Yes, stayed there.
Yeah, it was all right. Well, they had a good arcade there. They had a really good. Oh, that's how I got good on Snow Bros. That's another game. Whenever I go to arcade club, I think score on Snow Bros because they had it there.
They had a thing there called the Pink Elephant Club, if I remember right, at that Robin Hood.
Yeah, and they had a clown called Carrot the Clown. Do you remember Carrot the Clown? That woman. She was. Really good.
I think that was probably after my time.
Oh.
Man,
getting a shout out. That's never happened before.
Oh, class. A shout out to Rill. There you go. Right then, mate. I think we'll finish off with a bit of a quick fire round.
Oh, have you got a quiz?
It's only a few quick fire questions. That's all, mate.
Oh, go on then. You're gonna make
no. It's nothing. It's nothing like the radio show quiz. Like, what colours the character out of what's his face or whatever. Okay, favourite arcade machine.
Fuck. Favourite arcade machine.
I heard of that one. Is that 2-player?
Yeah, I'll tell you though, mate. Fuck 2 was loads better. Loads better.
Yeah.
Its favourite arcade machine. Snow Bros is one of them. Shinobi's one of them. Ghouls and Ghosts. One of them three.
Oh, some good machines there. I'm guessing Shinobi means that you finished it.
Yeah. Well, let's say Shinobi then. Means I've completed. Then again, I've completed Ghouls and Ghosts as well. So
yeah,
one of them too.
Fair enough. Now I think I already know the answer to this, but favourite console,
Master System.
But
But my favourite game of all time, if somebody put a gun to my head, because I don't like to pick favourites as such, because you go through different stages.
You do through time. I know what you're saying. Yeah.
But if somebody put a gun to my head and asked me what my favourite game was, I'd say Final Fantasy VII. Well, that ain't on the fucking Master System, is it? You know, so, but overall, Master System.
Yeah, for console, yeah. So favourite game is
Final Fantasy VII.
Final Fantasy VII.
Am I just preempting every question?
Okay, here's one for you then. In-game music. What's one of your favourites?
Oh, mate, that's a good one. That is a good one. Oh, in-game music. What do I listen to? Oh, Revenge of Shinobi. And Yuzo Koshiro. Anything Yuzo Koshiro.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there you go. Streets of Rage.
Yeah.
Shinobi, he did stuff on the Master System as well. He did the original music for the Sonic on the Master System. Anything Yuzo Koshiro.
Oh, class. That's a good choice. Yeah, I can't disagree with that. Yeah. I'm gonna add a question before the last one. Favorite band?
You expect me to say AC/DC?
Yeah.
It's Skid Row.
Oh, Skid Row. A bit of Seb.
Bit of Sebastian Bach. Yeah, Skid Row. I've got the Skid Row tattoo on my back, so that's how much I love them.
I saw Skid Row. It was one of the Monsters of Rock festivals.
Oh, you jammy back. I've never seen the original lineup.
Mate, he ran on stage and fell over. It was hilarious.
The best thing I ever did was he played at JB's, and where he does a piece of me, and he's like, anybody want to get up on stage? You get a piece of me, and everybody gets up on stage. I got up on stage, so I was technically, I've played on stage with Sebastian Bach.
Seb go. Oh, that's class. He's in. I don't know if you know. Do you know the show Trailer Park Boys?
No, what's that?
Oh, okay. I might be. Yeah, you might be going down a rabbit hole here. Look for Trailer Park Boys. It's look for Trailer Park Boys. Look for Trailer Park Boys. The series. It's a Canadian show. I think you'll like it. There's about 12, 13 seasons, so you've got some watching.
Yeah.
But Sebco is in one of the episodes. He's in quite a few of the episodes actually because they love him.
Sebco.
Yeah.
I met him as well after that show. Got talking to him for a bit. Signed my T-shirt. Seems like a really nice. Well, everybody seems nice when you first talk to him. But yeah. So Skid Row is your answer. Skid
Row, brilliant. Okay, and last question: your favourite place in the Black Country? Is the one.
My bedroom.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good answer.
What kind of fucked up question is that? What's your favourite infectious disease? And you can't have TB. I mean, we run the Black Country down, but it's like everywhere. There's places everywhere. But yeah, the Black Country Museum's fucking cool. The zoo's cool. The castle's cool. I mean, JB's was the bollocks back in the day. The Foundry, I like the Foundry in Dudley, the ye old Foundry.
The Vic. I know it was the Vic, but yeah.
Yeah, the Vic. You're showing your age again, mate. I know. But yeah, me bedroom.
That's a good answer. It is. Because when I was putting that question down, I was trying to think of a favourite place myself. I was like,
what's your favourite?
Well, there you go. I wanted somebody to, give me a good answer, so I'll be like, oh yeah, that's a good point. That is.
No, man. I mean, fucking what? I mean,
it's funny you've mentioned the zoo though.
The cut's nice. If you get on your bike, and ride along the cut, within 10 minutes you could be in the Cotswolds.
Yeah. And for the posh folk out there, the canal.
The canal.
The canal. Yeah. Oh, brilliant, mate! It's been an absolute pleasure having you on. Having you on here. It's been a scream.
Thank you,
Good
mate.
laugh. Yeah.
Thank
Yeah, we'll have to do it again.
Yeah. Okay, mate. No problem.
But,
When I've got something interesting to say and something new to say, just hit me up and we'll do it all again.
Well, I hope it hope it all goes well with the radio show for you.
Thank you, mate.
And I hope you do end up working at Retro Realm. And it's you might have a big grey beard like mine by then.
You'd have to free entry, ain't you?
Yeah. Free tickets. Come on, send the tickets. All right then, mate. I'll catch you soon. Cheers, buddy.